Hi guys, I welcome you all to EduTap, and here is the Agriculture Current Affairs series for NABARD Grade A and IBPS AFO 2019. Now, through this series, we are aiming to cover the current affairs which are related to agriculture and rural development right from the month of January, and since we have covered all the months till July, so this particular lecture is about the August month. And let me just tell you that this particular series is now important for the NABARD exam as well, because usually they ask questions from the past 6 months, and since we have covered January to July, maybe those were not that much important for NABARD exam, but now from August it will be important for both these exams. Let me just quickly tell you about our courses, and so that you can just have a look what courses are important for you. So first of all, we have NABARD Grade A for 2019 examination. Now this examination has a very core component in phase 1 and phase 2, both is agriculture. Now this is covered through our courses, and this will be covered through this particular lecture also. And another is the IBPS AFO. We are offering a test series for this examination, and agriculture again is a core component here in phase 2. And here is the list of various other courses which are offered by us, which are helpful for RBI, SEBI and NABARD as well. You can just have a look at them. And our today's lecture is about the agriculture and rural development current affairs from the month of August. And since you can see it is part 2, I have mentioned it here, and we have already covered August in part 1 as well. So now you have part 1 as well as part 2. And in case you guys have missed any of the agriculture and rural development current affairs from any previous month starting from January 2018, I would recommend you to just go back and see that video as well. So let us just start with today's lecture. Okay, so our very first news from this particular part, as we are in continuation of part 1. So the very first news is about the FSSAI. Now this body is itself important, and we are going to learn about this body in our next slide. First of all, let us see what this news entails for us. So FSSAI has unveiled this initiative called RUCO to collect and convert the used cooking oil. So this used cooking oil would be converted into the biofuel. So you see, such an important initiative which has been taken by FSSAI so as to push the center's policy of the national biofuel. So this initiative, known as the repurpose used cooking oil, that is what RUCO stands for. And let me just tell you, it also has a meaning in Hindi, that is RUCO, which basically means to stop. So FSSAI wants this conversion of cooking oil into the biodiesel so that the wastage can be stopped. So under this initiative, 64 companies across the India, that is at 101 locations, have been identified which are going to enable the collection of this used cooking oil. And let me just tell you that already the McDonald is running this the collection of the used cooking oil, and then in the Bangalore region of Karnataka. So this already is going on a pilot basis, and after the successful completion, now the initiative is unveiled by FSSAI. So FSSAI is also working in partnership with Biodiesel Association of India as well as the food processing industry. And let us see about this Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. Now this is the apex regulator body, and it functions under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. First of all, you need to keep this in mind, that the under which ministry FSSAI functions. And secondly, the mandate of FSSAI is the protection of the public health and the promotion of the public health only through the regulation and supervision of the food safety. Now it is headquartered in New Delhi, and it has regional offices. You can just go through this here, the 6 centers which are mentioned here. And yes, that would be it about FSSAI. Now let us just move on to our next news. Okay, another important news is from NABARD, that is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So NABARD has conducted this survey for the year of 2016-17, and this survey has revealed that only 23% of rural income is from farming. Now this is important for us since this survey is by NABARD, and NABARD is itself a very important body with regard to your examination. So let us see about this survey first. Now the survey is known as NAFIS, that is NABARD All India Financial Inclusion Survey. Since the mandate of NABARD is the promotion of the financial inclusion for the agriculture and related sectors, so that is why this survey is important here. And the reference here, you know, is 2015-16. I am sorry for this, it is not 16-17, rather it is 2015-16, and it has revealed that farm households have registered higher income than the families which are dependent on the non-farm livelihood activities. So basically you need to understand that families in the rural areas which are dependent on the non-farm livelihood activities only, and on the other hand the households which are dependent on the farm as well as non-farm activities have a higher income. So this is the basically this is revealed by this survey. And NABARD, you can just go through this, that the bank was established with the mandate for the matters which are related to concerning policy, planning and operations in the field of credit for agriculture and other the economic activities of the rural areas. So NABARD, again its headquarter is in Mumbai only. FSSAI also has its headquarter in Mumbai. So let us see quickly the key findings from this survey. Now this survey has covered more than 40,000 households across the India, that is all the 29 states were covered, and this has highlighted that average annual income of the agriculture household is around rupees 1 lakh as compared to the families which are dependent on the non-agricultural activities, whose income is rupees 87,228. So this is the increase in the agricultural households, which is 23% more than the non-agricultural households. So this is important, but you need to understand that 48% of the rural families are agricultural households. So this survey points out that only 23% income is higher if 48% of people are involved in the agricultural activities. So this is the revelation of this particular survey, and yes, that is it about this. Okay, so moving on to our next news. It is about the decoding of the complex wheat genome for the first time. Now see, this is particularly important because this news is important in the background of genetically modified crops, and we have already covered in a previous video that cotton is the only crop which is cultivated at a large scale, and it is the only genetically modified crop. So if the wheat genome has been laid out now and the sequencing becomes easy so as to modify this particular crop. Now let us see what this news entails for us. So this study was led by the scientists of International Wheat Genome Sequencing Consortium. This you need to keep in mind, and the full genome of wheat for the first time has been cracked. Now see, if the full genome of the wheat, the structure is known, the sequencing becomes easy, so that what are the genes which are responsible for the fungal disease, and if they can be made resistant to the fungal disease or other diseases or other problems which are faced by the production under the wheat. So that is why it becomes important, and it will be beneficial for wheat breeders, and thus new varieties will be developed now. So why was this wheat taken particularly? Let me tell you that wheat feeds more than a third of the global human population. So wheat is very much important in terms of the intake of the protein also, as it fulfills the protein need of the human more than meat. So first of all, this is important. Secondly, we need to know that wheat is harder to grow in hot and dry weathers, and since the climate is changing and global the greenhouse gas effect is taking place, so this wheat is becoming harder to grow in such areas. So this will be affected, and now wheat genome sequencing will be of great help. And secondly, apart from these things, you need to keep in mind the important thing is that the type of wheat which was used for this genome sequencing is Chinese spring. So this you need to keep in mind, and it is the variety of bread wheat which is most widely cultivated crop in the world. So all these are important things you need to keep in mind from this particular news. Let us just move on to our next news now. Okay, FSSAI again in news. Now the regulator body has notified the standards for honey and its production. Now this particular step has been taken to curb adulteration and honey and its product will now be under this framework which has been laid out by FSSAI. So 18 parameters have been given under which the honeys will be produced. So maximum 5% is the limit for the sucrose content, and it is 10% for the honeydew honey. So these are the two things you need to keep in mind. And another important thing which I have mentioned here is that the moisture percentage is also specified, which has to be maximum 20%, with the pollen count 25,000 per gram. So these are the some important facts you need to keep in mind from point of view of your examination. And let us now see about this honey bee cultivation. So this government is promoting the honey production through a mission that is known as Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, that is MIDH, and the National Bee Board is the implementing agency for the honey production, particularly under this mission. And it is this mission, MIDH, is a centrally sponsored scheme, and not only honey, it is also related to various other horticultural crops. You can just see here, these can be mushrooms, spices, even flowers, etc. So since it is centrally sponsored, we know that centrally sponsored scheme means it has the share from the center as well as the state governments. So you can just go through these 2 points here, since we have discussed about central sector and central sponsored schemes in detail in our previous videos as well. Okay, and our last news is related to cage farming in Karnataka. Now, this government of Karnataka has reported the installation of the 8 marine cages, and they are going to cultivate, they are going to use it for the cultivation of sea bass and cobia culture. So why is this news important is due to this cage farming. See, cage farming is, I've mentioned in, you can see here in the picture that cage farming is basically the aquaculture where floating frames are used and other net materials are used for the fishing and the production of fishes. The picture you can see here. So this is known as the cage farming, and the Karnataka has become the first state which has reported the installation of the marine cages. So National Fisheries Development Board of Hyderabad has also sanctioned water cages for the installation of these cages at the various districts of Karnataka. So this you need to keep in mind, that where has this cage farming started, and the answer to this is Karnataka. And secondly, you also need to know that what is cage farming actually. So you can just read here that it is a aquaculture system and various types of nets are used here. And yes, anything important else if you find, you can just mention in the comment section below so that it is helpful for other people as well. So that's it guys, I hope this lecture was helpful for you, and we have now covered all the agriculture and related current affairs right from the month of January till the month of August. Now since August is also important from the NABARD examination, because from the point of view of the NABARD examination, because the questions are asked from the past 6 months in the NABARD exam, and all these news are important for the IBPS AFO examination. So in case you guys have any query related to the courses which we are offering or these particular 2 examination, you can just drop us a mail at hello@edutab.co.in. You can even visit our website anytime. The website is given here, and our contact number is 8146207241. You can even WhatsApp us as per your convenience. And I hope this lecture was helpful to you, and if you like this video, please do not forget to like, subscribe and share, and also note down the link of the Telegram channel. I have mentioned it here particularly so that you do not miss it, and also it is in the description below. I would recommend you to just go there and download the PDF of this particular lecture and all the other lectures so that you can retain all the news and then revise it later also. So that's it guys from this lecture. I wish you all a very happy learning. Thank you.